So if you guys missed it, MVP made his debut at AEW Dynamite Grand Slam. He comes out, he interrupts Swerve Strickland's manager, Prince Nana. This is really good stuff. I love MVP. I love MVP joining AEW. He's there to talk business. Obviously, we know what this is all leading to. But there was a report that came out from Fightful Select that did confirm 100% that MVP has signed with the company. So we don't know the terms of the deal. We don't know if it's long-term, short-term. We don't know how much money. We don't know if MVP is going to be wrestling, but we do know that he's going to be in AEW. Now, what is very fascinating to me here is that they have MVP getting in the mix with Prince Nana, who is the manager of Swerve Strickland. Just saying, hey, tell Swerve to give me a call. I want to talk business. That right there was enough to get me excited about what potentially could be happening. But let's just call it, how we need to call it, right? Like this is AEW signing more talent, right? And you guys, if you watch my videos, you know that I've been very okay with the Hurt Business coming into AEW, and I think they should come into AEW. Shelton Benjamin and Bobby Lashley should come into AEW. But I want to know exactly how they're going to go about this, because one of the biggest things that I'm having an issue with here, which it's totally fine, by the way, let's just be, guys, let's chat. Let's be clear on this. I'm okay with this because I'm willing to let it play out. But it's intriguing that MVP wants to talk business with Swerve. Because I feel like if you're bringing in Bobby Lashley, and Bobby Lashley is going to be the head of the business, right? Head of the Hurt Syndicate, then you don't really want Swerve being just another member in the group. Swerve has already built himself up to be the main event talent. So I'm not judging this. I'm not hating this. I'm not being some tribalist. I'm not complaining about this. What I'm saying is that there is something very good here that could come out of it. But I think the Hurt Syndicate needs to actually go after Swerve. I think Swerve shouldn't be in the group. I think Swerve being in the group would either undermine himself or undermine Bobby Lashley. But that's why I'm very intrigued to see how they go about this, right? Like, I'm curious to see how they go about this moving forward, because when you have Prince Nana, MVP is telling Prince Nana that he basically failed as a manager. Like, he's not good for the business of Swerve. And MVP wants to talk business with Swerve. That's pretty legit. That's like a pretty good way to start things off. I'm just curious to see what does this lead to, because Bobby Lashley could be coming into AEW as a main event talent. But is he going to be coming into AEW as a main event talent, or is he going to be coming in as a guy that's going to go for the TNT Championship, right? Perception is reality, my friends. Perception is reality. Like NXT, and I hate to compare this, but NXT bringing in Ethan Page and then allowing Ethan Page to win the NXT Championship immediately created this perception that Ethan Page would be treated as one of the top stars of NXT. He won the title after a month. I'm not saying for AEW to copy that, but I think we have seen so many times where guys debut and then next thing you know, they're doing things more so on the undercard, right? It even happened to Adam Copeland. Like, Adam Copeland didn't compete for the World Championship. And by the way, I'm not complaining about that. But Adam Copeland came in and won the TNT Championship. And, that was cool. But then, what made that cool was the fact that it was a feud with Christian, and there was just so many great things happening there. The reality is, though, perception is reality. So therefore, if Adam Copeland comes in holding the TNT Championship, it should make the TNT Championship feel much more important. I don't think it necessarily does that. And it's a really weird thing, because when you look at some of the people that AEW have brought in, you would just think at some point, you are going to create some new emerging stars. Even Will Ospreay is a top guy, and he came in and he's holding the international championship. He's going to have a feud with Ricochet. You know what I mean? That's weird. And it's not just Will Ospreay. I mean, they've done this with Okada. Okada comes in. He's a world champion kind of guy. He comes in. He's holding the Continental Championship. Jay White came in. Again, previously a top guy, comes into the company, and then at one point, he's holding the trios belts and shit. So, there is this thing that AEW does, man. They bring people in, and they just kind of throw them into the mid-card, and then eventually it works its way out it works its way out and whatever it may be. And I swear, honestly, in my opinion, I just feel like Bobby Lashley, I don't want to see that happen to Bobby Lashley. That's my only concern. I like to see him in AEW. I love the idea of him and Shelton and MVP being together. I love the idea of these guys being on TV, wreaking havoc. But I want like, I guess maybe this is where AEW truly differs from WWE. And maybe you guys will not like this, which is completely fine. But I feel like in WWE, like if you watch SmackDown, you kind of know who like the top stars are, right? Like if you watch SmackDown, you know Kevin Owens, Randy Orton, Cody Rhodes, Solo Sikoa, you know, the Bloodline stuff, Roman Reigns. Like there is an identity there for those guys where it's just like they've created the perception like this is the main event scene. Same thing with Raw, with Gunther, Drew McIntyre, CM Punk, Seth Rollins. It's like you kind of know. With AEW, it's kind of weird. Like Jon Moxley was off of TV for a while, then he comes back, and now he's got the stuff with Bryan. He's the top guy. Swerve was the only guy in AEW where I feel like he actually had to legitimately work his way up to the top spot. And I feel like with AEW, it's like kind of harder to, based on booking, not based on name value, based on booking, it is rather difficult to tell who is actually like there as the top guys. And I prefer Bobby Lashley to be one of those top guys, in all honesty. I really do. I would really love to see him as a top guy in AEW, especially because the booking in WWE wasn't always that great for him. And I'll tell you guys this too, man. Like maybe you guys won't like this, but I think the IWC has done a really good job of painting WWE as the bad guys. The AEW tribalists do a really good job of painting WWE as the bad guys when it comes to booking talent. But then you see their talent go to AEW, and it's not like the booking has been that much better. I think Swerve Strickland is the one exception to that. And Swerve Strickland truly deserved getting that world championship run because he's a beast. And it proved me right. Because when he signed to AEW and they threw him in a tag team with Keith Lee, I got scolded for this. That's why I laugh when people call me a tribalist. I got scolded for this. I said Swerve and Keith Lee should not be in a tag team. That's dumb. I said Swerve should be a world champion. And that was immediately when he came in. I remember seeing them do Swerve in Our Glory, and I just thought that was dumb. I'm like, these guys are world championship material guys, and you throw them in a tag team, and perception's reality. And look what happened. It took a very, very long time for Swerve to get through that, but he did. And that's why I'm very happy to see how they booked Swerve. But that's why I say Swerve is the exception. So, yeah, just very, very interesting. I thought Grand Slam was weak, but MVP coming out and wanting to talk business with Prince Nana keeps me intrigued. I felt like that was one of the bigger moments for the show itself.